guys, it's Paul from International Scale Modeller. Review today Tamiya's 132 Mustang P-51D. Kit I wanted for a long time. It's my favourite all-time aircraft. Absolutely love the P-51, more so the D variant. When the kit was released, I wanted it for ages. For some reason never got around to buying it, and I bought it recently, probably 3 months ago or so. Eagerly anticipated building it. It's going to be probably one of my next builds after the Tamiya F-16. Really looking forward to it because it looks an absolutely amazing kit. Starting to get a good collection of the 132s now. I've just bought Tamiya Spitfire over the weekend. Really enjoying the way they go together. They just fit together flawlessly. And as most of you know, I've got Tamiya's 132 F4 Corsair on the go as well. So we'll head over to the workbench and we'll get cracking with the review. So the box, as usual, Tamiya's fantastic box art, and I can show you that. It's a red tail, which you know they're getting a lot of popularity lately with the red tail move and what have you. I've done a couple myself. Well, I've done one, smaller scale. Everybody seems to make this kit tends to go for that scheme. Well, most of the ones I've seen are. I'm going to avoid that scheme because I think it's been a little bit overdone. So I've got some aftermarket decals in here as well. Speaking to Cohen about this the other day, had the wrong decals in mind, Cohen. I've got slightly different ones, not the perverse ones we were talking about. So let's have a look what we get inside. So take the box off. We'll pop that over there. So like I say, there's my aftermarket decals. Various schemes, we'll go through those in a little bit. We'll get everything out and we'll go through it all a bit at a time. There's quite a lot in the box. Plenty of plastic, loads of different bits. Typical Tamiya 132, just absolutely stacked full of bits, and I've got that box stuck together. We'll pop that over there. Get all the screws out. Like I say, you always get a lot for your money in these boxes. Fantastic. Right, so we'll pop that down there. I'll move over there. So RRP in the UK, most places it tends to be around the 100 or 10 to 130 pound mark. I got this off eBay for £95 delivered, so very happy about that. So which one should we start with? We'll start with some of the bigger ones at the bottom. Typical Tamiya staples, which everybody knows I can't stand. After doing a review I found hundreds of staples on the floor. Well, not hundreds, but an exaggeration. Certainly plenty of them. So what we've got here, we've got various controls, the tail section, flaps, etc. Ailerons. Tend to know what the parts are. But detail is very nice. You can see on this tail here, you can see all the rivet detail, the panel lines. Very, very nicely done, especially on that top part there. If I zoom us in a little bit, you can see it. We can get it to focus. There we go. That riveting detail is really nice. Very crisp. There's a lot of surface detail there. Same on all the other parts. Very highly detailed. We've got a couple of ejector pin marks are showing through on the plastic. Come on, focus. There we go. On that bottom one there, we can see them. See them underneath. Sorry, we're getting shot. You can see them underneath. If we flip it around, we can see them on top. But once painted, I don't think you'll be able to see that at all. So, real nice surface detail. Absolutely beautifully cast. Moulded rather, should I say. Very, very nice. I have looked at this kit before. I haven't opened any of the bags. I'm going to open them all for you now. Obviously, I was like a kid at Christmas when I got this. So I certainly had a good look through. So there's one. Like I say, very, very nice detail. Grab another one. So we've got the main fuselage halves, which again look very, very nice. Got another different tail section. I'm not sure the difference. I'm sure I'll find out at some point. So again, fuselage sides and rear tail sections. Again, it's the same detail on these rear parts. The fuselage sides are very nicely detailed. There's some fantastic rivet detail in those. If we can get you in there enough. There we go. Very nice panel lines, not too deep, not overdone. And the riveting is just phenomenal. Really, really nice. There's a hell of a lot of detail on there. We can get you right up to have a look. Very, very nice. As usual, it's a Tamiya 132. If I see any flash on this, I'm going to be absolutely gobsmacked. All very nicely made. And I know for a fact this will all go together perfectly. Like I say, I'm building Tamiya's 132 Corsair and their 132 F16, and they just go together. Oh, you just wouldn't believe how well they go together. Phenomenal. The wing sections, which gives you an idea of this aircraft's wingspan. So, you know, we've got a wingspan of at least 14 inches. So, it's a fairly big bird for a World War II. I've got a 132 ME109 hanging from the ceiling there, and it's nowhere near as big as this. This has got a good couple of inches on it. So again, underneath, absolutely phenomenal detail. I can zoom in there. Get us to focus. There we go. I mean, look at all that riveting. Absolutely amazing. All the way across that bottom half of the wing. Absolutely stunning. And then we've got the top part there, which we've got the gun bays, which I believe you can have exposed, showing actual weapons themselves, plus the ammunition. And again, that detail goes right across, all the way through. Very, very nice. Really nice. We've got the going to be the fuel tank sponsons, is that the right word? For the underwing, through to the front gun port covers, which again are nicely moulded. So yeah, absolutely superb. That is absolutely phenomenal. It's the first time I've seen that close up, and that riveting detail is absolutely beautiful. Very, very nice. Like I say, it's not a cheap kit, so I do expect this quality, but it's still nice to see detail and that quality. Let's zoom out again. There we go. So what we got here? We've got various cockpit parts. So we've got bulkhead, hoses, controls. There's the ammunition belts. You can see those there. nicely detailed. You know, you could probably get a photo I'd set that had a lot more detail to it, but still nice. I like making these out the box. I've added decals to it just to get a change of aircraft than everybody else keeps doing. But you know, you're paying a lot of money for the kit. I do like to try and do them out of the box and do them justice if I can. Everything on there has just got absolutely crisp, precise detail. It's very nice. I'm trying to pick out a part for you guys to have a look at, which there's just so many good parts. I can't pick one. But everything's just perfectly moulded. I just take it around them where you can see them. Absolutely phenomenal detail. Real nice. So again, another one. Starting to get down to the smaller sprues. Plenty of parts, I don't know what they are. Yeah, we've got landing bay covers. Landing gear covers, should I say. So I'm assuming we've got one that allows it to be closed. Then the open ones. If I remember right, the landing gear is movable on this, or it's exchangeable anyway at least. We've got various braces which will be for under the wings and what have you. Struts, hydraulic pipes, all sorts of things there. Landing gear. Very nice. Again, the same riveting detail carries on to the undercarriage bay doors. Right across to everything else. What have we got next? Cockpit components. So what have we got? We've got the main cockpit assembly. So that's the front of the section. Radio gear on the back, and there's a battery and what have you. This actual seat. Going to assume these are the cockpit sidewalls. Rear of the seat and the bulkhead, I assume it is. Two cockpit panels. One slightly different to the other, as you can see there. So there must be a variation on this kit. I haven't looked into it enough to know what it is. I just like the P-51D, so I assume there's a different variation in here. Control stick with like a simulated canvas on it, just there. Really nice. Even the smallest parts, very crisply done. It was the same kind of decals on this that the F4U had, which you have the front part you paint, you've got a rear clear section, decals that you put onto the rear section, push through, and it gives the look of them being on glass basically. But yeah, very fine detail there. I look forward to doing the cockpits. Really enjoying doing cockpits lately for some reason. Used to be something I always rushed to get onto the actual build, but really enjoying them more and more lately. So I always look forward to doing them. We've got engine components here. So again, there's going to be any flash or anything, which there won't be. I keep saying this, I don't know why. I think I expect to find it, just to be picky. Engine detail is beautiful. Very nice. No problems there. This will be done same as the Spitfire I just bought. The front cowlings all held on by magnets, so you can take them off and expose all the engine. So this will all be painted in. Probably a mixture of alkylads and just a hobby buffable, so give that real nice metallic sheen. Plenty of different shades on there to give it a good look. And again, perfectly moulded. Detail is just absolutely stunning. Really is fantastic. Like I say, this is almost my dream kit. This, so I hold a lot of hopes for it, and I'm really looking forward to building it. I'm actually quite nervous about building it. I don't know why. I've built plenty of P-51s in the past. It's certainly going to be a large aircraft to paint an alclad, which is what I'll use on the fuselage. We're going to have a go at weathering it up, which I don't normally do on NMF finishes. I just like to leave them shiny, which they never are unless they're a show plane nowadays. So I'm going to have a real go doing a bit of post shading with different alclads, a bit of weathering on it. I don't want it beaten up, you know, I want it to look a nice aircraft. We've got a couple of cowlings, intake, yeah, that's the Looks like radiators. Got the scoops in for the radiators. And the rear, what's the word I'm looking for? I suppose it's cowling, is it? That moves in and open. And the nose cone as well. Again, no problems there. There really isn't nothing to pick up on. Everything's just beautifully made. So yeah, there's no nitpicking there. What have we got next? Got drop tanks. Not keen on the look of the P-51 with the drop tanks on, but I think this one will have them. I prefer its sleek lines without them. Tamiya staple, bugger off. So 2 screws, exactly the same. So again, nice detail. Shouldn't lose too much of that gluing them together. And again, they look very good, sprayed up and placed under the aircraft. Next up, we've got pilots there. We've got a little one. So what have we got? We've got 2 identical screws. So there we go. We've got the gun and ammunition bay covers. So again, I take it they're removable as and when you want. Plenty of detail on them, especially underneath. Real nice. We've got the landing gear wheels. Got the exhausts, which are very nice. Already drilled. There you go, Lee. Already a hole in them, so I need to drill them out. These bloody staples. Yes, I moan a lot about the staples. I hate them. So that's a nice touch. All the rear's components, just absolutely flawless. We've got the MGs, Browning 50 cals, I remember right on these. So we've got 1, 2, there's 4 of them. Nicely detailed. Even the barrels aren't too bad if we can zoom in. I'll take us in to have a look. Wobble the camera around first. So close we can get. There you go. So, you know, it's not enough photo etch quality barrel, but it's a good realistic imitation of a 50 cal. So we've got 4 of them there. We spin it round. I'll take you through some of the detail. So there's the exhausts. Come on, focus. There you go. So drilled enough to give a representation. Don't think I'll be mucking about with those at all. Landing gear wheels, very nice. There's cowlings. And there you go, you see the detail on the top of the gun covers and underneath, which is very nice. So again, all come up nice. You want to put a wash in there or what have you, you can really depict that well. So again, no faults there. Get a lot of plastic in the kit, I'll give it that. That's identical sprue, what we just looked at. Last bit, we've got what looks like part of a supercharger for the engine. Have a little look what we've got. Yeah, it looks like a supercharger to me. Various other components. Again, very nicely done. Just absolutely superb. Really looking forward to building this. If I could start it now, I would. Other things aren't in a minute. I like to tackle these things. I like to have a video build on the go, normally for e-models. I like to have one of my own on the go. So I've always got 2 projects on the go. I've also got ISM's Technique Guide, ME109 on the go, but I don't count that as a project. That's more of a how-to. So again, beautiful moulding, absolutely fantastic. Getting to the end of the sprue bags now. We're onto the box of goodies and all the paperwork and what have you. Pilot. So we've got a seated and a standing. Not bad detail on the guy. I'll zoom in so you guys can see. It's not the best, but you know, he looks alright to me. Turn around to his actual body, arms and hands, legs, sat in his parachute. So I always have a bit of a dilemma in these larger kits where to put the pilot in. I like the look of them, but then it hides a lot of the cockpit. I like to, because it's another part of the kit to build, and what have you, but then I don't want to hide all the cockpit. Now, onto all the individually bagged and boxed stuff, the goodies. So we've got the front, say front, there's no rear engine, so we've got the engine cowling, which these are super thin to allow for the magnets. I'm just going to take one out, I'm not going to take them all out because I'm an absolute pig to get back in. So I'll zoom in as well so you can have a look. So you've got real nice fine detail all around there. If we go underneath, you can see really thin plastic, because this is where you have the magnets are glued to allow these to be removed. So literally you've got the whole aircraft assembled. You can take this off and have it showing the engine in all its glory, you know, depicting it on the ground, bit of maintenance going on or whatever, whatever you want to do. So we'll pop that back in there. So like I said, it's an absolute bugger to do. So you've got the upper cowling, lower, right and left. So you can literally expose the entire engine and all its framework. Absolutely superb. Nicely packaged in its own box, which is protected because it is thinner plastic. It's a lot thinner. The detail is just as good all around on the side parts. Really nice. Put that there for one side. Got a larger bag of bits and bobs now. So in here we'll get everything out and we'll have a look through. So first off, canopy glass. We've got three different rear canopy parts. Again, riveting detail on them, looks great. I'm going to actually cut off this because I don't want to scratch the glass with all those stupid staples. Clarity is real nice. There's a seam going through the middle, which I can't get my hands on. Yeah, there's a seam through the middle. Seems to be a common, not problem, theme with the Tamiya 132s. It's easy enough to whip off. You just need a sanding sponge, you know, use the abrasive side, the green on the main part, and then buff it with the white, and it'll soon get that into shape. So two different variants. I'm going to assume one's for open, one's for closed. That's what Tamiya normally does. Whether that's right or not, I don't know, but that's the way it is. And if we look on the side, you can see the riveting detail all on the bottom. Absolutely superb. The glass is really clear. I mean, if you look through onto my workbench, you can see all the paint. Hardly any distortion at all. Absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to put that back in its bag because I don't want that getting damaged. One thing I always separate is the glasswork, the decals. I've got a little drawer that they sit in over there to keep them safe. Here's that other rear canopy. I'm not sure what the difference is, I'm not going to lie. Get that staple out, there we go. We're going to go through the instructions in a minute, so I'll have a look and see what it actually is. So again, I'm not sure the difference. We'll have a look in a minute and we'll see, but it's exactly the same fine quality, although there are a few marks on the inside of that glass. You just see it catching just there. I can catch it again. Is it as clear? Looks it to me. I'm not sure the difference. Hopefully we won't need to use this one because there are a few very light marks in that. I could get them off no problem, but obviously it's better to start with one that's not damaged. More glasswork. So we've got the front screen, got the what I assume is going to be the bulletproof screen for the back. Two different instrument panels and various gun sights, nav lights, etc. So again, all very nice, clear, no problems there at all. Certainly a lot of clear parts for World War II aircraft, or a fighter anyway, fighter bomber. Superb, no problems there. Lesson like with the Corsair, I'll be taking my time with those decals because they were an absolute nightmare to put on there. Not sure what happened, they just seemed to go off really quick, and before I knew it they were ripping on me and what have you. So that's one area this I will pay massive attention to. Not the kit's fault, it was me. I might have put a little bit too much microset in my water. Whether or not I did it I don't know, but I just had an absolute nightmare, so I'll be careful this time around. In here we've got a couple of poly caps. Different texture bag to the last ones, it's a bit weird. So we've got landing gear, 2 tyres, nicely profiled with treads. There's a seam going around it again, so we'll have to get that off. Seen a little tip recently of freezing them to get the seam lines to go hard, and you can get it off a lot easier. Or you go down the route of replacing it with resin. To be fair, I know I said I'd do it out of the box. I would like the weighted look on the wheel for when it's, you know, has a flatter bulged edge. So that's one part, thinking about it, I may replace with an aftermarket resin set. I'll see what happens. I just like the realistic bulge you get of the weight on the wheel tyres, so we'll see. Only other thing in there is a couple of poly caps, which will be for a movable part of some description. Again, we'll have a look at the instructions in a minute, we'll get through to all that. In here, and I'm not going to open it because I don't want to lose them, there are probably well over a dozen metal pins. Now this will be, I know a lot of parts on this aircraft are movable, the ailerons, the tail, rudder, etc. And the landing gear is, so I know there's a lot of movable parts, and that's what they're going to be for. So there's some thicker, slightly longer ones, and then underneath a lot smaller, thinner ones. So they'll be for all the moving parts. I'm not going to open it because if I open that they're going to get lost. So that's staying well and truly shut. Over here we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 18 or so magnets. They're going to be rare earth magnets, very, very strong and powerful for the size. So they're for all the components that come off, so you can see how many there are. There's quite a lot. Again, I'm not going to open the bag because I don't want to lose them, but they're going to stick onto various panels and what have you, so you can take them off, remove them, move them, put them back on. Tamiya's standard little screwdriver and a load of poly caps. Again, I'm not going to open it because I don't want to lose them. We've all seen these screwdrivers before. The F-16 I've got a very handy little extension for this, which I'll keep because they are quite fiddly. And not all the other kits get it. It's the first time I've ever seen it. More poly caps, so again movable parts. So standard in there, and then a bag, probably half a dozen screws, bolts, pins, set screws, and nuts. So therefore be for all various different components, and photo etch. So again, I've already opened this to have a look. So we've got various services, grills, etc. Look like seatbelt buckles, they're really nice at the bottom, very, very nice. As you can see, very, very thin photo etch. I mean, that thing's absolutely phenomenally thin. Very, very nice. So there's sprue B of the photo etch, and sprue A is going to be the seat belts. Spin it round. So we've got seat belts, yep, there and there. I wonder if it's going to be the similar, yep, same system that the Corsair had, which you put 2 components together, join them together with these little pins, fold them over and glue. A little bit fiddly, but it gives a good effect, and it does work quite well. There's probably easier ways of doing it. Again, I'll anneal them like I did last time, heat them up with a flame so they just go slightly discoloured. They then bend a little easier because these are quite, you know, the way this stuff is, it's quite rigid, quite hard to, you know, get them to conform to surfaces. So we'll do that, so we can get it all in basically. So again, photo etch, always good quality off Tamiya, always high quality, perfectly made. So again, that's what you expect in a kit this price. And there's certainly no shortcomings there. So there's the box full of goodies, and there's all the engine cowls. So I'm going to put them all together for safety. Last bag is Tamiya's stand. So you got an in-flight stand and a name plaque, which you get a sticker in there. So I'm not going to bother opening this because we've seen these before. It's just a black in-flight stand. So you can have the landing gear up or down on display, or you can have the landing gear down on a runway scene, or what have you. So again, plenty of options there. Not all kits come with stands these days, so it is nice to get it. Paperwork. Tamiya's normal attention, don't be eating the staples or sticking the decals to your face, etc. Then we've got the decal set, we've got the mask set. My biggest complaint of these kits after the staples, you spend all this time and money on a kit, why can't they laser cut the decal, the window masks? No idea why, and all I do is go and buy an Edward set for it. Absolutely stupid. I don't know why Tamiya can't do it, because what's the point in making that and you've got to cut them out? Probably easier to do it the old method of sticking it on using a sharp blade than having to cut that out. So I personally don't use these, it's a shame. We've then got our little plaques, or stickers should I say, for that stand, which is a nice touch. So again, good, that's the only letdown really. Put that back in there, no, I'm not going to use it. So yeah, every one of these kits I got to buy, they vary between £4 and £9 or so, and they're all perfectly formed, as you saw on the Corsair, which funny enough I've got right in front of me. There's one off the Corsair, so they're pre-cut to that shape, you just peel them off, stick them on, job done, and you've seen me do that live on camera. It takes literally seconds. So why Tamiya can't include it for you for the price, I've got no idea. Bit silly. We've got stencils, various, there's quite a lot really. Nowhere near as many as that bloody Mega did recently, 320 odd, however many there was. But there's a fair few on there for a World War II aircraft. They look good quality decals. I'm not sure there's more than one scheme. I'd have thought there would be, but that isn't always the case with Tamiya kits. Tamiya kit decals can be hit and miss. Some are really good, others just literally disintegrate. Literally 50-50 with me, depending on the kit. I do get warned away, and like I say, I wanted to go for a decal scheme different to the box one, so that's what I've done. So there's stencil sheet, and I've got actual decals. So yeah, they look really good quality decals, to be fair. They've got a satin effect. They're not exactly matte, but they're certainly not gloss. They don't look very thick. So yeah, I think there's only one scheme. I'll go through the instructions now, we'll have a look. But I'll be using the stencils obviously, and then these ones won't be. It's a shame because they're nice decals, but I do not want to do that red tail because that's the theme everybody seems to go for. So we'll be avoiding that one. Put that to one side. We'll get to the instructions in a bit. Where have we got here? So we've got large drawing of the aircraft. So there you go, there's the decal positions. So there might be a couple of decal sets in here looking at it. So to paint call outs, top, bottom, side on, everywhere. As you see, you got the wingspans 354mm and the fuselage length 308, so it's a foot long by 14 inches wide, so it's a good guess before. An impressive aircraft. I was talking to somebody the other day at Telford, I think it was Ben. The jets I've made are great. I'm going to put acrylic rod up their exhausts, and they do them sticking out of a shelf, flying as such. These World War II aircraft I'm building, I've got no idea where they're going because I haven't got provision in here to display them, but I'm going to have to figure something out because I'm going to have 3 of them soon. So we'll have to sort something out there. So that's nice. It's a single side, yeah, blank on the back, but gives you a full colour shout out as well as decals. Diff just for the large decals. Another nice touch of these Tamiya kits, they all get a little walkthrough. That's actually the best one I've seen yet. Reference shots, so you can go right through from the start. You get a bit of history of the aircraft. It's in Japanese and English. So it goes through from the A, the B, supporting B-17s, the B and C, down to the D. Showing the different props. That might be the difference. There's a D and a K there, so that might be what we get in the kit. Again, you know, all the major components, so it gives you point outs. What you got: your radiator flaps, elevators, ailerons, dorsal fin. So you know, it just gives a breakdown of what the aircraft is. Showing the engine. So it's got the Merlin or the Allison. I think this one's a Merlin. Down to the wing profile. So you got different one between the Mustang, Spitfire, and the Zero. Dorsal fins. So yeah, you got different one without a dorsal fin, to aid stability, one without. That might be the difference between those two we had before. And the drop tanks, you got the 75 and 108. So good. And then you got all the variants. So you got the prototype right up to the F-51D, which is in the Korean War and what have you. Can't stand the B or the C. I hate this look with the canopy molded into the fuselage. I just think it's an ugly plane. Cannot stand it. Absolutely love the D. That shape is just iconic. Absolutely phenomenal aircraft. And then the main use for these, which is reference shots. Not the biggest of pictures. The Corsair one has got real nice big pictures, but there's a lot more reference shots in this one. And obviously if you're on the internet or you've got books, you've got more reference material there. So that thing is absolutely stunning. It's the first time I've seen this book, and that is phenomenal. So you've got full close-up shots of the engine supports, side-on views of the fuselage, the cockpit, down below. Yeah, real nice pictures of that cockpit, which can come in very, very handy. Really, really nice. Up to the gun bays, the control surfaces. There you go. There you can see the polished aluminium finish on the P-51. When you're in service, they wouldn't have lasted that colour very long. They would have been filthy. But you can see it's a real pretty bird when it's clean. Gun bays are really impressive. Hell of a lot of firepower on these things. Absolutely immense. Down to the landing gear. So you know, you got really good reference shots. The pictures are quite small, I'll give it that. It would have been nicer a bit bigger, but obviously for the amount of pictures there's probably 3 times more pictures I've got in the F4U book. A lot more. And then that's it. So there's the book. Very handy reference material. Free gift in this one, which was great, was a complimentary folder and a copy of the sales advert, which again is a nice touch. So that'll be framed and put up on the wall somewhere. Is anything on the back? Yeah. So there's the other ones. So currently doing the F-16. Just bought the Spitfire Mark 9, and I got the Corsair, which isn't on here because it was not released back then. So yeah, that'll be put up on display. Again, there you go. There's the 2 different markings. So you got the red tail shown at the top. Sorry about the light. And then olive green over the NMF, which I'm never keen on, to be honest. Looks good. Looks very nice. So there we go, there's a bit more detail in there. 3 types of sliding canopies, so all those 3 canopies are sliding. There's 3 different variants for some reason. You know, the early or late tail parts. It gives you a picture of the cockpit, which looks the wrong colour to me, typical of Tamiya. So again, you know, another nice little thing to get free, cost some pence, but you know, it's something nice to get in there. Instructions we'll get to at the end. We'll go through my decals first. This is an aftermarket set by Barracuda Decals. Several different variants in there. I did choose one and I've forgotten which one it was now that I choose to do. I've got a feeling it was that bottom one. I can't remember now. We'll have a look through and see what we've got anyway. So plenty in there. So we have got stencils in here, so we can use this full set without using the Tamiya one whatsoever. So we've got the US Air Force markings, stencils, and then the various different schemes. A4 sheet of paper showing all the locations, which is nice, just one-sided. And then we've got the actual markings themselves with some history on the aircraft. So that's a nice touch as well. Not a bad touch at all. So yeah, I can't remember which one I chose to do. It's either that one, which that nose art will be an absolute nightmare because I've just seen the decal for that, which is there. What was that bottom one? It was one of those ones with the yellow checkers on. I've got a feeling it was that one with the invasion stripe underneath. But I can decide that near the time anyway. Decals, quite glossy. The quality of them is absolutely phenomenal. A lot better quality than the Tamiya ones. Crisper, more defined. I don't know the which on. Which one's that? That's the top one, the one I said about before. That's a nice little touch. So they are real good quality decals. I remember I paid quite a lot for these decals, but they look to be worth it. And again, we've got the kill tally on the side, the swastikas. Various stencils, and those stencils look real nice quality. So if I can, I'll be using all these decals over the kit ones. They look absolutely superb. Let's pop them away in there. And then the US Air Force stars, which again, real nice quality. They are very, very nice decals. I paid a lot for, I've got a feeling I paid about £15 for these. They weren't cheap. But there's a lot in there. There's markings for 5 aircraft, which is good for the money. Really nice. So we'll pop those to one side. I'll leave them open for now. We'll pop them back in later. So yeah, nothing wrong with using the kit decals, but be warned, they may fall apart because it's a common trait with Tamiya decals. Instructions, let's have a look through. So again, history of the aircraft, about its development, about when the D entered service, through to where it saw service, etc. One thing I always love about Tamiya kits, love the instructions, real clear. You've got your colour call outs at the bottom. Let's pop that back in there. Colour cards at the bottom. I use them as a guide. I won't use Tamiya paints really unless it's a specific colour. I try and use Mr. Hobby or extra acrylics if possible. So we start off engine assembly all the way through. I'm not going to linger too long in the instructions because we'll be here all day otherwise because I can talk for England. Through to the supercharger, we skip through. There's the seat coming together with the photo etch. So as I say, you've got to choose. So that's the seat with the pilot, and that's the seat without the pilot. So you've literally got to put it in and prepare for him before you button it all up. There's all the rear parts coming together. You know, it's a long process building the cockpits on these Tamiyas. Building the F-16 and building them, I've got about 4 hours in just the engine. The F-4U put about 10 hours into the cockpit. So it is quite a prominent part. You know, it's a lot of steps before you've even got the fuselage buttoned up. I think we're onto page 14 before you even get the fuselage halves together. As you can see, start putting the exhaust on, the radiator flaps, there's hosing, tail sections, wing sections. You know, they are quite an involved build. It's not a 172 kit you're going to chuck together in a weekend. Down to the NGs, etc. So if we skip on a little bit, so onto the landing gear. So there's the actual landing gear covers. So I'm assuming they can be switched out and changed or removable. Not exactly sure just yet. Maybe it'll become apparent in a bit. Got the different drop tanks. Through to tips on masking the canopy. So if you're using their set, that's how to do it, but we won't be using the aftermarket Edouard set. On to attaching magnets. Yeah, the little metal photo etch parts that, you know, obviously the magnets. Just trying to see what that. Just trying to figure out that undercarriage, how it works. Right, if you go between open and close, you're literally just pulling it out and popping this one in. So you can literally pop it out and change over to what you want, which is nice. And then at the end, showing you how to attach it to the stand, painting your pilot, and then painting exterior. Because it's a bare metal finish, it's saying to use 1000 grit or finer. I've got a micro mesh set there, I'll use that, and that improves it. So basically prime it. For me, if it's alclad, it'll be gloss black base. Sand it back, another prime, sand that back again, and then it'll be a couple of coats of alclad and sand it back in between coats. Doing that gives a flawless, absolutely smooth finish, and then we can weather it as and when we need. So there's the stencil markings, top, bottom, the actual decal markings themselves, and the two variants. So I believe this one, that is the blue nose one that they do in a 172 and 148, if I'm thinking right. So if you want to, you can have all different. So there are actually 3 I think there's going to be three versions of this. Where's the red tail? The red tail's on the big sheet. So there's actually 3 different variants in here. And decals by the look of it, so that's quite good. Not keen on this one with the olive over the silver. That one's quite smart, but again the blue nose, the guy's got another name but I won't say it, is quite overdone. So I'll be using my aftermarkets. I'm building that stunning thing. So there's the red tail. Really looking forward to doing it. I've got a thing about 132s. I'm going to try and collect all those Tamiya 132s over time because I just really enjoy the way they build up and paint and what have you. So hopefully we'll get this built. S16 is going to take me to Christmas probably because it's quite an involved build. The Corsair will be the same because I'm video building that. So sometime after Christmas I'll probably get this one on the go. Like I say, I've got the Spitfire which I'll review at a later date for you guys as well. But anyway, that's it. That's us done for today. Thanks for watching. Any comments or questions, pop them into the comments below on YouTube or on the forum. And thanks for watching. So take care. I'll see you soon.